I just hit this recorder because, you know, I had a lawyer a long time ago tell me you got to strike when the fire is hot, when the iron is hot. You got to strike. That's how you bend and mold what it is that you're making out of steel or iron. And that's the way I operate. So I don't have anything prepared except for a hot fire. And it's a fire that burns hot in my heart. I've always been on the quest for meaning, and understanding life and what it's all about ever since I was a kid. And now I'm old. My birthday is coming up, June 3rd. I was born in 1962, and it was only a few years ago, it seems, I don't know, 3 or 4, I was maybe not yet 60, but almost 60, when I came to the end of the line. When I found myself like a animal trapped. When I was beguiled. But I didn't know I was beguiled at the time. But I've been beguiled throughout my life. And, you know, like my chaplain told me during the Gulf War, when I served aboard the John F. Kennedy aircraft carrier, CV-67. Amongst our battle group out there on the Red Sea. And, well, I don't know if the battle group was in the Red Sea or not, but we were in the Red Sea. And, well, this is where my thoughts stem from. The different things. It's like a bag of marbles. Life for me has always been a metaphor. And it's like a bag of marbles. You know, you have one marble that you keep using to hit other marbles and get the marbles to where they want to go. And life is like that. We believe one thing, and we use that one thing to hit another thing, and it works, and the marble goes. But it's a bag of marbles, and such is life. Life is also like a jigsaw puzzle. You know, we put the pieces together and they fit, but then the whole picture doesn't fit. So we have to rearrange and put the pieces in different order, but yet they're still the pieces of the same puzzle of our life. These are just metaphors to describe, you know, what it is. What it is, it's the fire that burns in my heart. It keeps me moving, keeps me working, keeps me processing, keeps me learning, keeps me coming to new understandings that worked for me at the time. And so, you know, certain things work for us at certain times in our life. And it reminds me of a story, a scripture of a man who wrote, I should know. I should be able to know. I don't know if it's 1 Corinthians or if it's Galatians. Maybe it could be Ephesians. It was written by Paul, the apostle, to the Gentiles, the so-called Gentiles, and it comes out of a little niche in the world. It fits for that part of the world. It fit for me. I grew up with it. And he says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I was a boy, I spoke as a boy. When I became a teenager, I spoke as a teenager. When I became a young adult, I spoke as a young adult. When I became adult, I spoke as an adult. When I became old, I speak as an old man. With more experience, with more story, with more recollection of the ways that I utilized metaphor, that I utilized what I thought was real. What I thought was real, then I realized was not real. And I assumed that I knew what was real. And then as time goes on, you question more of reality. I tell you, you become more tolerant, you become more forgiving, you gain more understanding, because you understand where you've been, and that at different times in your life you've been different people, you've taken on different form. Now I come to understand that when I die, this body will be put off like an old shirt. This shirt I put on when I woke up, which was not too long ago, after dreaming. I couldn't remember quite the detail of my dreams, but it lit a fire and it made me actually last night feel a love toward myself. But I put this shirt on. It's an old shirt that I used to wear when I was working for Kelly's Sanitation, and it stunk. It had on it the scent of yesterday's bodily sweat from the work, from the heat. It stunk, so I would rather not wear a shirt at all than wear a stinky shirt. And that's the way life is. When you're wearing the shirt, you don't smell the shirt. You don't. The shirt could stink. It gathers your perspiration, the dirt, the smell of, in my case, my dogs. Well, you don't smell it, but you're wearing it. And then you put off your garment and you sleep and you wake up, and when you grab the garment you realize it's not for me. Now today I don't want a steak. Put on a different one, a clean one, and start over. It's another day to go through the same process. Well, a lot of thoughts come tripping through my mind, which I can't possibly go into in one setting because I'm already at almost 10 minutes and I'm going to cut this off. But I'm thinking, lastly, about the dreams that I started out with when I was a child. And I have grandchildren, most of which I've never seen. But I bonded with my grandson Bryson, and began to bond with my granddaughter Adelaide. But Adelaide was taken to Oregon, and where my daughter continued to have the rest of her children. And I've only seen them once since they moved, and one of my grandchildren I've never seen in person. I've seen them when they were little. But my heart tells me that although these reflections of mine I will look back on to remind myself where I was and what I was thinking, and it's my journal. It's my journal of my journey now at this late stage in life. But I hope that my grandchildren will also be able to learn from what I have to say, because after all, they are in my heart, all of them. And I have special recollection and love that comes out from my heart for Adelaide and Bryson. Adelaide is a distant recollection, more so than Bryson. She's older. But Bryson stayed with me when he was younger at times, and we grew a special bond, and I love him. And he is actually the bearer of my name. His name is Bryson Thad Robbins. So I can't say no to Bryson. I won't say no to any of my grandchildren, but Bryson has a special place in my heart. I love him deeply. So, I'm gonna cut this one off now and start in on what's burning on my mind. All right.